Hi, in this video we're going to do another example where we solve a polynomial for both its real and complex solutions. So again, I've got my polynomial here. My first step is always to get it equal to 0. So the way I'm going to do that in this example is to subtract x both sides. So I get 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus x plus 6 equals 0. Okay, so this is 3x cubed. All right, and now with any polynomial, probably the easiest thing to do is to graph it first and to see if there's any real solutions. So I've gone into Excel and graphed my polynomial, and it's displayed here. And a real solution will be wherever this graph crosses the x-axis, I see that it crosses here at x equals -2. So this implies I have one real solution at x equals -2. All right. And now what I want to do with this polynomial is then divide the polynomial by x plus 2 in order to get it down into a quadratic. Once I get it into a quadratic, I can then use the quadratic formula to solve it. So I'm going to divide 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus x plus 6 by x plus 2. So I asked myself, what times x gives me a 3x cubed, and that's going to be 3x squared. I end up with 3x cubed plus 6x squared. Okay, and now remember that I subtract these two, so I'm going to make myself a little note here. 3x cubed minus 3x cubed, they cancel, and over here I've got 4x squared minus 6x squared, so I'm going to end up with a minus 2x squared. And now I want to bring down my next term, which is minus x. So what times x is going to give me a minus 2x squared? It's going to be a -2 and an x. Okay, so minus 2x times x gives me minus 2x squared. And then minus 2x times a positive 2 gives me a minus 4x. Once again, I'm subtracting here, so I'm just going to make myself a little mental note. All right, that the signs on these change. Minus 2x squared plus 2x squared, they cancel. Over here I've got a minus x and I'm positive 4x, so this is going to become 3x. And now I'm going to bring down my last term, which is 6. What times x is going to give me a 3x? That's a positive 3. And I actually end up with 3x plus 6. And the remainder will be 0. So now I have this reduced down to a quadratic where a equals 3. B equals -2, and C equals 3. And I can now use the quadratic formula to solve, to find any other solutions. Okay, so I'm just going to substitute in here. I got x equals a -b. Well, b is -2, so -b is a positive 2, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is going to be 4, minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is 3. Okay, all over 2a, so that's going to be 6. Reducing even further or simplifying even further, I get 2 plus or minus the square root of -32. Okay, because 4 times 3 yields a 36, but that's negative plus 4 yields -32 all over 6. And now for my solutions, I can simplify this. All right, remember that I can put my 6 under this part and under this part. So 2 over 6 is going to simplify to 1/3. That's my real part, plus or minus. And now this right here, I can bring the negative out and I get I square root of 32. But I know that 32 can be broken down into 16 times 2. And the square root of 16 is 4. So I can actually rewrite this 4i square root 2. Okay, I got the 4 because 32 breaks down into 16 times 2, and the square root of 16 is 4. So I can bring it out. The I is when I took the negative out, over 6. Okay, And now I can see that this simplifies into x is going to be equal to 1/3 plus or minus. My 4/6 reduces down to 2/3, okay? I square root 2. Okay? So that would be my solution. Two of my solutions. 1/3 plus or minus 2/3 I square root 2. Okay? And my other solution was real, and we came up with that in the beginning, and that was x equals